Well, the human mind is like a vast container, capable of holding an infinite number of thoughts, ideas, worries, and dreams. However, the more we fill it with clutter, unorganized thoughts, the heavier our existence becomes. Each thought, especially those rooted in anxiety, fear, or doubt, adds weight to the mind, like stones being placed into a backpack you're carrying through life. Over time, this weight accumulates, slowing you down, making every step feel laborious. You find yourself bogged down by worries about the past or anxieties about the future, losing sight of the present moment and feeling disconnected from the flow of life. But the magic of the mind is its capacity for release. By emptying it, by letting go of the constant chatter, the endless inner dialogue, you experience a profound lightness. Imagine the feeling of setting down a heavy burden after a long journey. Suddenly, your steps are easier, your movements freer, and the world seems brighter. When your mind is clear, you are no longer trapped in a mental fog of overthinking. Instead, you're free to move with grace and ease, responsive to life's unfolding moments, without the weight of past or future dragging you down. Emptying the mind is not about losing thoughts or becoming mindless. It's about creating space, allowing clarity, and opening yourself to the natural flow of life. In that emptiness, you are not weighed down by the chaos of the mind, but can respond with lightness, intuition, and freedom. The world feels lighter when you are not carrying the unnecessary load of mental clutter. When we think of emptiness, we often imagine it as a void, a place where nothing exists, a barren space devoid of meaning or value. But in truth, emptiness is not about absence, it's about possibility. It is the fertile ground from which new insights, creativity, and experiences can arise. Emptiness, in its purest form, is potential waiting to be realized. Consider a cup. If the cup is already full, you cannot pour anything more into it. It has reached its capacity and is unable to accept new things. But an empty cup, on the other hand, is ready and open to receive. In the same way, when our minds are cluttered with preconceived ideas, judgments, and incessant thoughts, there is little room for anything fresh to enter. The mind becomes like a full cup, unable to hold new perspectives, stuck in its current state. Emptiness allows the mind to be like the empty cup, open, receptive, and capable of transformation. When we let go of what we think we know, our rigid beliefs, our certainties, we create space for something unexpected to emerge. New insights can come to us, unburdened by the constraints of past knowledge. Creativity flourishes in this space because the mind is no longer confined by the limitations of old patterns of thinking. It's in this emptiness that the artist, the thinker, or the dreamer finds the freedom to explore new ideas, to innovate, and to create something unique. Furthermore, emptiness doesn't mean passivity or inaction. On the contrary, it is a dynamic state of openness where life's experiences can be fully embraced. When the mind is empty, it is not void of meaning, but filled with presence. You become more attuned to the richness of the moment, fully aware and engaged with what is happening around you and within you. In this state, you experience life as it truly is, without the filters of judgment or expectation. Emptiness is also the key to personal growth. When you empty your mind of who you think you are, you become open to new ways of being. You are not tied to a fixed identity, allowing yourself to evolve and adapt. In this emptiness, transformation becomes possible, because you are no longer holding on to the past or clinging to familiar patterns. In Zen, Emptiness is often celebrated as the foundation of enlightenment. It is not a void to be feared, but a space to be embraced. It is the space where life unfolds, where creativity blossoms, and where wisdom emerges. The nature of emptiness is not nothingness. It is everything waiting to happen. When you allow yourself to be empty, our minds are preoccupied with outcomes, with a version of the future that may or may not come to pass. We imagine scenarios, make assumptions, and anticipate results, all the while losing touch with the richness of the present moment. Expectations create a gap between what is and what we want, and in that gap, dissatisfaction often arises. If life doesn't meet our expectations, we feel disappointed, frustrated, or even resentful. We become trapped in a cycle of wanting things to be different from how they are, and this robs us of the peace and joy that can only be found in the present. The problem with expectations is that they are built on a foundation of control. We expect things to turn out a certain way because we believe that we can shape or manipulate the future. We think that by planning, predicting, or hoping, we can somehow ensure a specific outcome. But life is inherently unpredictable. It follows its own course, often beyond our control. And no amount of expectation can change that. Seems to me that life is full of choices and challenges, and they will be and will be in your life according to how you adapt to it. Hold on, loving. Clinging to expectations only sets us up for disappointment, because reality rarely unfolds exactly as we imagine it. Letting go of expectations is a powerful act of liberation. It is the recognition that we cannot control the future, and that trying to do so only creates unnecessary suffering. By releasing our attachment to how things should be, we open ourselves up to how things are. We stop resisting the present moment and begin to embrace it fully, without judgment or comparison. When we empty the mind of expectations, we free ourselves from the constant tension of anticipating outcomes and instead become fully present in the now. Letting go of expectations does not mean giving up on goals, dreams, or desires. It simply means releasing the need for things to happen in a specific way or within a specific time frame. It means trusting the process of life, knowing that it will unfold in its own way, often in ways that we cannot foresee. When we let go of expectations, we cultivate a mindset of openness and acceptance. We learn to flow with life rather than against it, allowing things to arise naturally without imposing our will upon them. In Zen practice, this idea is often referred to as non-attachment. The ability to engage fully in life without clinging to specific outcomes. When we let go of expectations, we become more adaptable, more resilient, and more at peace. We no longer feel the need to force life into a predetermined